Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today what I have for you is episode 14 of my Football Manager 23 save with Tottenham Hotspur. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 20 likes on today's episode, that would be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you are new as well. We are now closing in on 400 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed. If you haven't already, with that post notification bell on, it's free to do so and it does massively help out. Don't forget as well to drop a comment in down in the comment section down below to help boost the video in the YouTube algorithm. But we've had a January transfer window since you were last with us. We've been on some decent form as well, so let's get straight on with today's video. Starting out then with our player departures, Ryan Sessegnon joined Olympique Marseille on a permanent deal. We got £10 million for him. He was out of contract in the summer and he was not interested in signing a new deal, so he has officially joined Marseille. Brandon Austin has also gone out on loan for the rest of the season. He's gone out on loan to Stockport County, who are currently in Sky Bet League 1. They've paid a little bit of money for him. He's conceded 6 goals in 5 appearances there, kept 1 clean sheet as well. Aaron Maguire joined Burnley on a permanent basis. We got £250,000 for him. I believe we got some other add-ons in there. I think we got a sell-on clause in there as well. He's 19, only 1.5 star current ability, and his potential wasn't great either, so we've looked to move Aaron Maguire on. Will Lancashire joined Doncaster Rovers on loan for the rest of the season. Spent last season with Bradford City. Doncaster paid £13,750 towards his weekly wages and all that sort of stuff. Alfie Devine also left the club on loan. He's joined BRG. I'm not really too sure what that club is, but they're over in Portugal. He's done alright, to be fair, so far. I also forgot to mention, we've got face packs on here now, so every single player, staff member, all that sort of stuff now has an actual face, so hopefully that looks a little bit better in these videos. Tanguy Ndombele also left the club. I think he was either out of contract this season or next season. The 27-year-old has joined Mallorca over in the Spain First Division. We got £11.5 million for him, which I think is an absolute unbelievable piece of business, considering we were offering out for £1 million. We were even offering him out for free at some points as well, so to get £11.5 million for him, I was absolutely buzzing with that. And the final departure was Edson Alvarez. The 26-year-old has joined Chelsea on a permanent basis. We made a £3 million profit on him. He wasn't really playing all too much, and we had the option to get in another centre-half as well, so we got £47.5 million for Alvarez and officially joined one of our rivals in Chelsea. Moving on then into our signings, our first one is Sergio Gomez. He comes in from Manchester City for £2.3 million. That is it. No more than that, no less than that. 2.3 million. We needed a replacement for Ryan Sessegnon, and he's fairly young at 23. Didn't want too much money, and he was available for quite cheap as well. 2-star current ability, but that's still Premier League standards, so he has come in as our backup left back. A man who can also play left back or centre half, can also fill in midfield or even right back if we need him to. Nico Schlotterbeck has come in from Borussia Dortmund for £40 million. Again, no increases in that, but obviously not all of it was paid up front. Again, 2.5-star current ability, 3-star potential, comes in as our backup left centre half and just gives another option in a bit more other positions as well, because obviously we're playing a lot of games at this moment in time, but it's been in the Champions League, all the cup competitions and the Premier League as well. Rotation is key, so I'm very happy to get this 24-year-old over the line. One of the better wonder kids on this game though is Giorgio Scalvini. He comes in on a permanent basis as well. He comes in from Atlanta, £53 million played. He's done fairly well in the games that he has played so far. 3-star current ability, 5-star potential as well. He has been playing more of a centre half for us. Very, very happy with him. He comes in on a contract until 2028. And our final signing then, our most expensive signing this series so far, Federico Valverde comes in from Real Madrid. Comes in for £130 million. I think it was £30 million up front and then £50 million in installments as well. So very happy to get him over the line. He's coming in. He's been playing quite a lot as our box-to-box central midfielder. We have moved the team around a little bit as well. He's valued at nearly £300 million now. If we have a look at how we've got on then since you were last with us, the last game you saw was his 3-2 defeat away at Anfield. We bounced back after that with a 3-0 win at home to Everton. Osimhen scoring a hat-trick in that game before we had a 6-1 win away at Barnsley. We then had a 6-0 win at home to Leeds United, where they got 2 red cards in that game, before a 3-0 win away at Wolves, a 3-0 win at home to Southampton, and a 2-0 win away at Manchester United as well. We then had a disappointing 1-1 draw away at Fulham, where Bellingham actually got sent off in that game for a disgraceful tackle. We then though won in the FA Cup against Bristol City 3-0 in that one. We played our second team. It was going absolutely terrible. We subbed Osimhen on. He scored a brace, and we even got one of the youngsters, Josh Robinson getting on the score sheet as well. After that game, though, we had a 3-1 win at home to Newcastle before a disappointing 1-0 defeat at home to Chelsea. Alvarez did obviously play in that game for Chelsea, and he played quite well. In today's episode, though, we have our first leg of our round of 16 match away at Napoli, and we also have this FA Cup match against Manchester City. I expect us to be able to get past Lazio. If we win this game by 2 or 3 goals, then there's no real point me showing you the second leg, but if we do get knocked out, then, well, the series is not going to have many episodes left. Let's get into this first game, though, against Lazio. Here we have it then. Here's how we line up for today's match away at Lazio. We've got a Gurkhan in goal, a back four of Timber, Scalvini, Gvardiol and Udogie, a midfield 3 of Skip, Valverde and Bellingham, Berardi on the right, João Pedro on the left and Osimhen through the middle as well. Now, for some reason, it wouldn't let me register Emerson Royal at the time, and it also didn't let me register Asprilla. I'm pretty sure Asprilla was away on international duty at the time, so that might be a reason why he's not registered for the Champions League matches. But whatever I tried to do, it physically would not let me register Emerson, so I'm not really too sure what's happened there. I'd have probably played Emerson this game as well, because Timber is not exactly the fittest. We don't have anyone who can play right back on the bench as well, so yeah, it's not ideal. Let's get into this game, though, against Lazio. Hopefully, we can get into the quarterfinals and all that sort of stuff. I don't really know at this moment in time who we will be playing if we do get into the quarterfinals, but they'll obviously be very tough. We obviously got to the Champions League semi-finals last season. We're looking to go one better this season. Hopefully, win a trophy. I didn't actually show you the Premier League table. We are currently 2 points behind Liverpool at this moment in time, so we could have done with beating Chelsea. We obviously didn't beat them in the end, and I believe Liverpool won their match, so it was a bit of a tough moment for us to take, as it did see us drop down into second in the table. Obviously, we are playing against former left-back Sergio Reguilon in this game. Again, their team doesn't look too good. Obviously, they've got Immobile and Luis Alberto, but apart from that, I'm not really seeing too many players there who I'm really afraid of, to be honest with you. If we get into the dressing room, we'll give them a nice little team talk and all that sort of stuff. The media have given you a lot of credit, so go on and put a worthy display. We will now be able to look at not only the Champions League music, if it loads. I'm not really too sure what's going on here. We'll also be able to look at the new graphics. I forgot, actually, they're Champions League graphics, so you can't see all the player faces. The next time that we show a Premier League match on an episode, you'll be able to see how beautiful everybody looks with all their faces. There's 360,000 faces that I downloaded. It took nearly 6.5 hours, but now that it's in, it looks very nice, doesn't it? Let's kick off. We are now underway for our first leg Champions League round of 16 match. Corner ball for us here early on. 10 minutes on the clock. Berardi will look to swing this one in. It's a good ball, to be fair. Cleared away, though, by Romagnoli. Back out here into Berardi. One of his maybe old stomping grounds. He's won the ball back his shoes just over the bar. Obviously, Berardi spent the majority of his career at Sassuolo, so he'll be used to going to teams like Lazio, and hopefully he can put on a show today. As we approach half-time, not a lot's really happened in that first half. Apart from that early corner, nothing has happened there. I mean, we are the away team, so we don't necessarily need to win the game. We are going to give them some more encouragement. Again, we've got a lot of tired players, so I'm going to look to make some changes in the next 10 minutes or so. As the ball comes in here, and it's headed onto the roof of the net by Scalvini. Right, we've nearly an hour played on the clock. I am going to look to make some substitutions. I also forgot to mention, we did actually recall Asprilla and Richarlison. I know I said previously that we might recall 1 or 2 of them. We've decided to recall them both. Richarlison is going to come on in today's game. He's going to come on for Victor Osimhen. We don't really want to play Goncalves. If he plays one more game, we have to pay like £7.5 million, and I don't really want to do that, so I'm kind of just letting him rot, because nobody wanted to sign him. Apart from that, James Maddison's going to come on for João Pedro over on that left-hand side. We really could do with getting Timber off, but nobody can really play it right back. I mean, we could potentially put Schlotterbeck there. It's not ideal, but we'll play him as an inverted wing-back. That's certainly not what I wanted to do. Romero's also going to come on for Gvardiol. And final change of the game, Koopman is going to come on for Valverde in there. 5 changes made. Hopefully, we can come up with a goal in this one. Half an hour to go. Lazio have a throw-in. Reguilon plays it back eventually to Romagnoli. He goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, who hammers a ball long. But that should be easy for Scalvini to deal with. It is. He's a very, very tall, dominant centre-half. And Berardi looks for Richarlison here. It's gone all the way through to James Maddison. Is this his chance? It's his chance, which he hasn't taken on off the bench. And he's certainly not capitalised on his opportunity there. Free kick for us here. Koopman looks to shoot. I think that's just going to hit the post, and it goes out for a goal kick. 15 minutes left to go. We're going to give him some more encouragement. We've already gone on to attacking as well. We've certainly been the better side in today's game, but we just can't quite find that breakthrough at this moment in time. As Scalvini knocks the ball out wide here to Udogie. Can he get a ball into the box? He finds Jude Bellingham in a bit of space here. Cuts it back for Maddison. Big save there from the Lazio goalkeeper, and we will have a corner, which will again be taken by the former Leicester man. 2 hands go up here. It'll be a right-footed in-swinger. 10 minutes left on the clock. Ball comes in, and I think it's Richarlison at the back post there, headed just wide. The referee's indicated a minimum of 3 minutes added time, but we're not going to see a goal in today's game. 1.52 XG created, 19 shots, 7 on target, 0 goals scored. I mean, we have to win now. I mean, we are at home. I would still expect us to win in the second leg as well. Now let's get into this match against Manchester City. Certainly will be a very tough one, especially if Erling Haaland is fit. Here we have it then. Here's how we line up for, I want to say, our 5th round FA Cup clash at home to Manchester City. We've got a Gurkhan in goal, a back four of Timber, Romero, Gvardiol and Udogie. A midfield 3 of Bissouma, who's found himself at the base of the midfield now. He's been playing a lot more as an attacking midfielder or as the box-to-box over the last season or so, but he's found himself at the base of the midfield in today, along with Valverde and Jude Bellingham. We've got a Skrilla on the right, João Pedro on the left, the 2 former Watford boys on our wings, and we've obviously got Victor Osimhen through the middle. We've still got Heung-min Son, who is going to be out for another month with a torn hamstring. He was originally out for 2 months, so he's halfway through his recovery now. Let's get into this match though against Manchester City, a team who we have struggled against so far in this save. Very good side, and presume Erling Haaland is going to play. I remember last time we played them, didn't they play like the 5-2-3 or something like that, something crazily defensive. I don't think Guardiola's their manager anymore. It's not. It's Jose Mourinho. Erling Haaland does play for Manchester City in today's game, and to me that looks like the 7 at the back or whatever it is. Do we get to see the lovely face packs? We do. Look at that. Instead of having just the black shadows, now we've got actual face packs. It looks beautiful, doesn't it? Jude Bellingham has created 8 goals in 31 appearances. This is certainly a Jose Mourinho style of play. Very tricky front 3. It is going to be hard to break them down. Laporte playing as a right-sided centre-half though. That's certainly an interesting one. We are now underway. Let's hope we can get into, I want to say, the quarterfinals. A Gurkhan with a goal kick here. He goes short into Gvardiol, carrying it out of our penalty area here. He goes into Jude Bellingham, one of the better players in this club. Udogie now on the ball, goes back to Gvardiol. Bit of space for him here to pick a pass. Back to Udogie. He goes back into Gvardiol, looks to switch the play. Nice switch out wide here to Timber. Little bit of time for him to find Valverde. Over the top here, looking for a Skrilla. In behind. Can he cut it back? He cuts it back here. He shoots, actually. It's well held in the end by Zach Steffen. Steffen claims the ball here for Manchester City. Sends the ball along looking for Erling Haaland. Gvardiol gets underneath that one. Bissouma now finds Timber, who's got a little bit of space here. Into Valverde. He looks for that ball into Victor Osimhen. He finds it into Jude Bellingham. Can he finish? Yes, he can. Jude Bellingham with his 6th goal of the season, proving why we spent £95 million on him. An absolutely unbelievable player. 6 goals so far this season for the English wonder kid. It's great play from us. Great build-up play. Osimhen holds the ball up nicely, spots the run of Jude Bellingham. No Manchester City player tracked him, and Bellingham slots it past Zach Steffen. With 33 minutes on the clock, it's Tottenham Hotspur 1, Manchester City 0, but they are going to look for an instant response here, and it's Rodri on the ball, back into Aymeric Laporte. He's playing as more like an inverted right-sided centre-half at this moment in time. Rodri now goes into Gundogan, finds Haaland, into João Cancelo, ball back looking for Erling Haaland. He's never missing from there, and Erling Haaland has his 45th goal of the season. We were ahead for 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. He scored 45 goals and it's February. That's an absolute joke. That should not be legal. I mean, I've not even had a chance to praise the players. I've pressed the praise button, but it's not even had a chance to go through. Why no one has tracked the Erling Haaland run there, I'll never know. And as soon as he gets 1v1, is there any point a Gurkhan even being there? I hate playing against Erling Haaland. It's Tottenham Hotspur 1, Manchester City 1. Corner ball for us here, which Valverde will take. It'll be a right-footed outswinger. Ball comes into the box. He's headed at the near post. By, of all people, it's Yasser Asprilla. He's about 5'5". How on earth has he scored a header? And with 39 minutes on the clock, we take the lead once again. It's Valverde with the ball in. Header from Asprilla, who gets there ahead of, I think it's Erling Haaland. How has Asprilla out-jumped Erling Haaland? How tall is Asprilla? Oh, he's 6'1". Alright, fair enough. I mean, he's still a lot smaller than Erling Haaland, but I didn't know he was 6'1". As we approach half-time, Manchester City have only had 1 shot in today's game, and that was the goal that they have scored. I'm delighted with our performance so far. We are proving we can finally do it against the big teams. We have completely controlled this game so far. Absolutely dominated Manchester City. As De Bruyne picks the ball up here and finds Phil Foden. Bit of space to slot it into Erling Haaland. The Manchester City captain goes out wide here to João Cancelo. He cuts inside and finds Gundogan. He goes into Rodri. Bit of space to get a shot off, and that's the 2nd goal of the season for Rodri. Just 2 minutes after half-time. time. Manchester City level again with only their second shot of the game. I mean, it wasn't exactly in the corner. Maybe a Gurkhan could have done a little bit better with that. I think that's a bit poor from us personally. We've got 3 in the midfield. They've only got 2 in the midfield. So the fact we're getting passed around, I'm like, we're not even there really, is a little bit disappointing. That's on Rodri's weak foot. It's pretty central, to be honest with you. I think a Gurkhan's got to do better there. It's Tottenham Hotspur 2, Manchester City 2. Udogie picks the ball up here at left back and gives it back into Gvardiol. He goes into Basuma, who finds Romero. Bit of space for the Argentine. Here he goes into Valverde. Forward pass into Asprilla. Looking for that ball in behind to Osimhen. Heavy touch. Shoots. Scores. The linesman hasn't got his flag up, but the referee has got his hand up here. Is it going to be another instant response here? VAR are going to check the goal. The goal has been awarded. It's Tottenham Hotspur 3, Manchester City 2. It's another assist for Yasser Asprilla, and it's a 26th goal of the season for Victor Osimhen. It's not quite the 45 that Erling Haaland scored, but he's still doing pretty decent for us. 49 minutes on the clock. It's Tottenham Hotspur 3, Manchester City 2. With an hour on the clock, we've been fairly dominant in the game so far. I am going to look to make some substitutions just to keep things fresh. I am going to bring Richarlison on here for Victor Osimhen. I'm also going to take João Pedro off for James Maddison. We'll get Berardi on for Asprilla as well, who's looking fairly tired. Emerson's going to come on for Timber. And final change at the game, we're going to bring Basuma off for Skip or Koopmeiners. We'll go Koopmeiners for this one, just for the experience. Koopmeiners picks the ball up here in the midfield and finds Federico Valverde. Bit of space for him here. He goes into Romero. Ball into Berardi. Turns, ball over the top, looking for James Maddison on off the bench, can't quite find him, and it's now with Jude Bellingham. 63 minutes on the clock here. Bellingham switches the play, interesting switch of play, finds Emerson Royal, a man on off the bench. Opportunity in today's game to impress. Emerson, ball across, and it's found Domenico Berardi, who has his 13th goal of the season. Zach Steffen can't keep it out, and we double our advantage in today's game. It's now Tottenham Hotspur 4, Manchester City 2. I was very interested by Jude Bellingham's switch of play there. Emerson Royal had the space to run into, he drives into it well, ball comes across, Berardi gets there ahead of, I think it's Laporte maybe, or potentially Ruben Diaz. Berardi tucks in for his 13th goal of the season. He's been a very underrated signing, to be fair, and we've doubled our advantage in today's FA Cup fixture. But Manchester City are going to come forward once again. It's now with Hernandez, looking to build out from the back. It's with Laporte. He goes into Rodri. De Bruyne now, we do not want to give him space. Haaland looking for Kyle Walker, but Udogie deals with that fairly well, and it's now with Koopmeiners on off the bench. He goes back to Gvardiol. Udogie now. A little bit of space for him to turn. He comes back though and gives it into Gvardiol. Can we work the ball out to the other side? It's now with Jude Bellingham. He's happy to run with the ball and find Berardi. Interesting pass. He goes all the way back to Romero. Gvardiol now picks up the ball once again. Gets lots of touches, to be fair, do our centre-halves. Very happy to carry the ball and all that sort of stuff. Valverde now looking over the top for Richarlison. Gets there ahead of the keeper. Shoots. Scores. It's an 18th goal of the season for Richarlison. Proving why it was a correct decision to recall him from Leicester City. Spent the first half of the season out on loan in the Championship. He's back in a Tottenham Spur. Back in a Spurs shirt. And he's back scoring goals once again. Richarlison picks up another goal. And 65 minutes on the clock. You'd like to think, with 25 minutes to go, the game's probably wrapped up now. Udogie picks up the ball here and finds Jude Bellingham. Bit of space for him to turn and drive into. This is what he loves to do. Valverde now picks the ball up. He's going to get a shot off here into the penalty area. Shoots. Scores. Federico Valverde has his 3rd goal of the season. I believe that is his first Tottenham Hotspur goal. And with 5 minutes to go, it's now Tottenham Hotspur 6, Manchester City 2. Jose Mourinho might not have long left at Manchester City if they keep getting results like this. Valverde with a great driving run, proving why we were correct to spend £130 million on him. And he makes it 6-2 with 5 minutes left on the clock. The tie is 100% wrapped up now. We've got an opportunity here to potentially get a 7th. Gvardiol picks the ball up. He goes into Udogie. Ball down the line looking for James Maddison. It's cut out by Rodri, but in the end it's found the back of the net. Poor from Rodri. Great play from Richarlison. He squares it for... not great play from Richarlison. Great play from James Maddison. He squares it for Richarlison. And with 2 minutes left on the clock, it's now Tottenham Hotspur 7, Manchester City 2. Great persistent play from James Maddison there. He does well to win the ball back. First time ball across. Richarlison's never missing from there. What a horrendous decision it was from me to loan out Richarlison at the start of the season. And that should be enough now for us to wrap it up. Get into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. It's Tottenham Hotspur 7, Manchester City 2. A great way to end today's episode. we've done fairly well. We're still within more than a chance of getting into the Champions League quarterfinals as well. We are now into the next round of the FA Cup. I'm not too sure when the FA Cup draw is, but we do get £225,000 for that. Valverde scored 1 goal, 2 assists, 8.9 match rating, and covered 13.6 kilometres as well. That is exactly what I love to see from my manager. Manchester Evening News, James Millenniux has called with a question he would like to ask you. Do you want to respond? Jose Mourinho's once again hit out against VAR after a late controversial incident. I mean, was that our 3rd goal? We put another 6 past you, mate. I mean, VAR works if Mourinho can't see that. He's wrong. But anyway, that is where I'm going to leave it for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 20 likes, as I said at the start of today's episode, that would be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you are new as well. Oh, Sam Drake has been critical of your stance on VAR. Do you have a response to his comments? He should mind his business. This has nothing to do with him. Mourinho, not happy with me here. But make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are now on the road to 400 subscribers. So please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so and it does massively help out. Thank you all very much for watching today's video. As always, your support is massively appreciated. We're probably going to come back for the Champions League quarterfinals whenever that may be. Thank you for watching though. Have a great rest of your day and I shall see you all very soon for another video. Peace.